All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are ready for an hour of wellness talk. Say hi in the chat. Let me know where you're coming in from. I'm going to keep an eye on the waiting room just for the next minute here. Hi, Pat, Chrisleen, pretty name. Melody Ann, Joanne, Taryn, Sarah, Gwendolyn. Hi, Susan, Shikra. Awesome. So nice to see you guys on a Monday in August at 2 o'clock. I don't know if it's as hot where you are, but it is absolutely boiling. I have my little absolute necessity living in Florida, a cordless fan, which comes with me everywhere. So yes, keep saying hi in the chat, get to know each other a little bit here. And actually, what would be really helpful as we kick off is I would love to know how many of you are attending this class for the first time. Put a one in the chat if you are a first time learner of foundational wellness, or if you're already using the supplements and maybe you're coming to learn more about them, put a two. Awesome. Lots of new people. Colorado Springs. I have family there. Right on. Sweden in the house. Cambridge, Ontario. Awesome. California. Hamilton. So we've got some Canadians on. Awesome. So I'll be sure to mention some things that apply specific to Canadians today as well. Let's hop over. I'm going to start screen sharing and you guys can continue hanging out in the chat. One second. Why isn't this showing? There we go. Okay. All right. We still have some people hopping in. Nice little group on a Monday afternoon. This is awesome at 2 o'clock Eastern. So welcome to Wellness Made Simple. I'm going to pop into the chat if you're watching live with us. Let me just put I know some of you will probably want to have some notes in front of you as we go. So I just put that in the chat box for you. Our Wellness Made Simple class is a class we run every month on the second Monday of the month. We run it live at 2 times. So obviously you guys are here for the afternoon class. We also have a class tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. So as we're going through today, if there's anything that you learn and you think of somebody that might want to hear this information, it's really fun to attend live. Hopefully you guys feel that by the end of class, that you feel like you've not only made some friends in the chat, but that you've had any of your questions answered. I'll do my best. And it's just a nice environment to be in and to carve out this time to go to that next level together. We make this class available to you and have multiple teachers teaching the class so that you're learning from somebody new every time. So we rotate teachers, and between us, 9 educators, we have over 100 years of essential oil experience between us. So we always have a lot to share. And I think one of the challenges is distilling it down to make it simple enough that you're excited to really get started, but in depth enough that you realize that this isn't just a class about some really nice smelling things, right? Which sometimes we think essential oils, we treat them too humbly. And so what we do in this class is we focus on the specific oil that you would be receiving free each month. We do a bit of a deeper dive at the end of class after we go through the foundational wellness segment, which will begin in just a few minutes here. This class is obviously something you can invite to. And if you are somebody who is a wellness advocate or you're just a really passionate customer and you like referring people to doTERRA, this is definitely a class to mark down your calendar so that you can be inviting to this class every month. We do the work, we teach, and we direct people back to you. So some of you might be here because of a friend who invited you in person or online, and we're so happy that you're here. So this is something just to know that you can make available as part of your sharing element in doTERRA. On the third Monday of the month, we also teach a Growth Made Simple collaboration class. So this is specific to those of you that love the opportunity of doTERRA to build a side income. And so what we do during this monthly class is or I should call it really a training, we explore a different topic within the role of being a wellness advocate, which I have been now for over a decade. I would say in doTERRA, there's probably over 90% of doTERRA are customers. And the other, less than 10% or so are wellness advocates who educate and invite people to really pursue health in a new way in their life using doTERRA. So let's get started on the class. The reason that we have started teaching this class at the beginning of this year and plan to keep it going is there is such a need right now for us to be helping people simplify their wellness. Over 60% of people don't feel good about how they're feeling in their body. Almost 40% of people feel uncertain about where to even start. And 40% of people feel really overwhelmed by all the information out there. And if you've spent a day scrolling Instagram, for example, you will see so much information out there. And a lot of the time it contradicts itself. So I think one of the things that makes us unique in doTERRA is that we really live what we teach. What you see and what we are walking out. Like I said, we have, between us educators in this class, we have over 100 years of experience together in utilizing essential oils as a way of life, as a form of healthcare in our homes. And so it's a beautiful thing to learn from somebody who's already gone down the road a little bit farther than you have with certain aspects, and to be able to say, hey, what did you do about this? And how did this work for you? And not only that, just to be able to see the evidence of a lifestyle in someone, that I think is so compelling in this modern world we're living in, where anybody can hop online and say that they're an expert in anything. You really want to see the fruits of that in their life, right? And that's really what we do as wellness advocates. I have always felt that a home that has doTERRA is at an advantage. And here's why. We're going to talk about oils towards the end of class today. And essential oils, for example, which is doTERRA's primary focus, is not only finding the best, but sourcing the best all around the world and creating the highest quality product for people to use. doTERRA is the largest essential oil company in the world today. Having pure essential oils in your home it's one of those things you will buy at some point, and then you might not be feeling super grateful for them until that thing comes up, that issue that you just can't solve in a modern way. And you remember about your oils, or maybe you start using an opposite approach. Instead of reaching for something mainstream, you grab your essential oils and try that first. In fact, that is definitely what we recommend, is that you always explore the natural path first. When you have doTERRA in your home, you are ready for anything. There's about 80% of the things that will come up in everyday life, really, that you can solve using essential oils. And in fact, the free oil that we're talking about today, tea tree, is one of those oils that every home should have. And I'm going to share why that is towards the end. But this is not just your average essential oil, right? The purity within doTERRA is unmatched out there, which means you can really dive into it being an answer to a lot of those different situations that might come up. And we believe in doTERRA that wellness does not have to be complicated. And this is what I hope you really take from this class, is that doTERRA is a 17-year-old company. However, the company's gone through a lot of different iterations and evolutions to come to this place we're at now, where we're able to really package wellness in a simple way for people in this just complete value package. You're going to see how just through the simple daily supplement use, you're tapping into all of these levels of wellness and value through your doTERRA account. So regardless of what your personal goal is, you probably are going to find a solution, some sort of protocol or essential oil or supplement within doTERRA that's going to really address that. You really are supported at every level. What we're starting the class off with tonight is the importance of having a strong foundation through your nutrition, through your digestion. As you move up the ladder in wellness, there's various components you can pull in and use your essential oils and supplements to support on a deeper level. I always describe this as everything we do in doTERRA is supercharged beyond a competitor product that might have a similar clean ingredient deck, what they're missing are our pure essential oils, which are in the product, which help it become more bioavailable. You're going to learn about that when we talk about VMG today. But when you talk about skincare, or when you talk about managing stress or sleeping deeper, when you have our essential oils packaged in the way that they are in our product categories, you're able to go to a deeper level than you would with something as a competing product. So let's begin by talking about our foundational wellness supplements. This is the foundation of Wellness Made Simple, really the foundation of this class. And I'm going to teach you as we go what the products are and also what they unlock for you as a customer so that you can really see the full picture of value. So nothing's more important than this, than having a strong foundation. What we live in a time where we are often taught to isolate issues going on in the body from the whole body, right? So maybe you're dealing with something hormonal right now. Maybe you're dealing with chronic disease of some kind. Maybe you're dealing with dental problems or stomach upset or a really weakened immune system, poor energy levels, chronic headaches. All of these things at some point are served if we have a strong foundation in place, something that we're doing consistently each day that is building upon the last. But the key with this is that it really needs to be simple. I know in working with thousands of clients as a health coach over the last almost 20 years, the most important thing for people is that they have a simple integration plan. And so I'm working that into the class today. What I want you to know first and foremost is that what you're learning here right now takes less than 2 minutes per day to strengthen your system, fortify your health. There are residual benefits to this too that I always love to share with this, because I find that when you have this integration happening in the morning at the start of your day, it governs every other decision you make throughout the day. I like to say you're coming into agreement with the next version of you that is being built. And I'm sure you've heard this before, but your body is literally rebuilding right now. You have a brand new body 6 months from now based on what you're feeding it today. The quality of your cells 6 months from now is determined by what you're doing today. And I think that is so encouraging, because it doesn't matter what level of health you're coming into this conversation in, everything can get better starting today because of this simple routine. So let's approach it in like a good, better, and best situation. A really good choice would be to integrate our VMG each day. So this is the icon of this class. This is the iconic product that has become very popular since its launch about a year ago. This was an evolution of our most popular product at the time, Lifelong Vitality. And this is your daily multivitamin, multi-mineral system with the addition of greens and essential oils. So cool. We still have people hopping in the class. Look at this turnout at a 2 p.m. class. It's awesome. So VMG, you guys, is delicious. It has such an impressive ingredient deck, but there are a couple of specific things I want to just share with you that make this very unique in the marketplace. So first of all, for those of you that might be taking Lifelong Vitality, that is a stellar product. There's a reason that has been the most popular product in doTERRA for over a decade. It is highly absorbed. It is full spectrum. You're getting all your goodness. It's capsule form, right? So if you're taking it, you know that you need to take it with your meals throughout the day. I would say that is one particular challenge for people, is remembering to take it, right? So we're knocking that off with this product, because this is a one and done. You take it in the morning, it's absolutely delicious, and you're getting all of those nutrients. But here's what distinguishes LLV from VMG. It is all about the absorption and retention. So LLV is going to absorb in your body at around a 60% absorption rate, which is far beyond your conventional vitamins and minerals that you'll buy at the store. And this is one of the things that made LLV so popular, is people noticed a difference within weeks. They had less pain in their body and more energy. There's a money back guarantee on it if you actually don't have those things. Same thing with VMG, by the way. But VMG steps it up a notch because it is liposomal and methylated. It has an absorption rate of more like 80 to 90%. So this is like the closest thing you could do to doing an IV drip of nutrients. Very high retention. This is the other cool piece with this is it's highly absorbed. So in research, VMG retained in the body for over 8 hours. So what this means is when you take it in the morning, your body is drawing on the nutrients as it needs them throughout the day. You're not just taking something in the morning and then, urinating it out 3 hours later and having that bright colored urine. It's actually retaining in your body and serving the body throughout the day, which I absolutely love. I'm somewhat of a biohacker. I'm more so a productivity hacker. I love integrating daily routines and doing things that are smart. I don't ever like to feel like I've wasted my time or that I don't have things optimized. And so VMG is an optimizing supplement for me because I know I can take it in the morning and it's going to nourish me all day long. And I'm not having to constantly be thinking about taking my capsules. So we have essential oils in VMG that protect and help it absorb. We have whole food vitamins. We have liposomal delivery, okay, which means it's actually absorbing into your cells. You have digestive enzymes and probiotics that specifically help the vitamins absorb. And then you have pre-methylated B vitamins. This is important for those of you that know that you have the MTHFR gene mutation. Okay, so this is going to make sure that those B vitamins are actually absorbing and integrating properly. Over 40% of the population have this. So, if you haven't tested for it before, might be worth looking into if you have really low energy or if you show signs of B vitamin deficiencies. Real quick, if you guys want to take a screenshot, I grabbed these from doTERRA's marketing kit. This is a brand new comparison chart on VMG. So probably the most common competitor product out there would be AG1, which has gone through a couple of iterations lately to actually try to get closer to what VMG is doing. So AG1 went through an evolution last year. There's a 2.0 version now where they've tried to add in various things that it was lacking before that are bringing it closer to the VMG ingredient deck. But again, one of the key players in our supplements are pure essential oils. And without that, you don't have high bioavailability, right? So there's a whole different ball game going on with our VMG. But if you want to take a quick screenshot, I'll leave it up for just another moment. So if we were to move on to what a better situation would be than just taking VMG, you'll notice there's something I didn't talk about in VMG. So we mentioned it's vitamins, minerals, and greens. What's missing there to have a good foundational stack is your omega-3s. Now, omega-3s you're going to be particularly interested in if you are looking for cardioprotective health benefits, and if you're looking to have your brain functioning at a higher level, and if you're looking to have glowing skin. So this is one of those, it's like a super supplement. And omega-3s, of course, have been talked about for decades, right? It is one of the most promoted supplements. If you ever hear a nutritional guru of any kind on a podcast, for example, and they're asked, what would be your top 3 supplements you'd recommend for people? Omega-3s will always be in that top 3. Now, here's what makes doTERRA really unique. So I mentioned how our essential oils take things to the next level and supercharge the product. So doTERRA begins with the highest quality, right? So the fish oil is sourced from the Nordic seas. It has a very high clean profile of EPA, DHA, exactly what you're wanting in your omega-3. Here's the difference. doTERRA adds wild orange, pure wild orange, if you've ever used it before. It's a beautiful oil. It's actually called the oil of happiness. It just makes you happy when you use it. But it's really high in limonene. And limonene is a constituent that is very protective. Okay, so you can see why this matchup is really good because how many of you, just a quick show of hands, how many of you have ever had fish burps? Like you've taken omega-3 or fish oil? Okay, I see a few hands up. So that is so common. And I don't know if you knew this, but what that typically means is that fish oil had gone rancid, which that can make you almost have fish burps right now without even. But the wild orange in this supplement helps protect the fish oil from going rancid. Okay. And it's also, again, helping with that absorption into the body. So human clinical trials of this omega-3, and just listen to this, because I think this is super cool. I want you guys to think right now about people who have high blood pressure. or their resting heart rate is beating too fast. Maybe you wear an Aura ring. I've worn an Aura ring for over 5 years. One of the metrics I love paying attention to is my resting heart rate, because what that really dictates the overall condition of my body right now. So in clinical trials with this product, resting heart rate was reduced by 4 beats per minute. What that means is in every cycle that your heart is pumping, it's having to work less hard, which ultimately at the end of the day is increasing your lifespan, right? So that is a really key thing. It also reduced diastolic blood pressure by 6 points. Really big deal. And in studies, omega-3 levels increased across the board. There was not a single person that didn't see their omega-3 levels go up through supplementing. So one of the particular challenges we face in our modern day diet is that we're getting so much omega-6, typically in the form of packaged food and seed oils, and it's dropping our ratio down in our body. Our body functions best with more of a 1-to-1 ratio, but when we have so much omega-6s coming in, our body is out of whack. Okay. And so this is why we need to be supplementing, especially if you don't consume fish. And this is one of those supplements that is definitely, in most cases, better to take than eating the whole food form, just because of all the environmental pollutions going on in our seas, in the water. It's very hard to find clean fish that is not filled with toxins. So mercury, there's a lot of issues if you're on a high fish diet and you aren't sourcing that very proactively. So sourcing with a clean omega-3 is vital. I don't eat seafood of any kind. And so my omega-3s would be super tanked if I wasn't supplementing. I'll leave this one up now for you guys if you want to see a quick comp chart. This truly is one of the best omega-3s on the market. Even if somebody wasn't interested in what the product is doing and why, because of the essential oils, if you just look at the breakdown of ingredients alone, this would be worth swapping any other brand that you might be using. Okay, next let's go on to the best daily stack. So we had good, better, and best, right? The best would be integrating a probiotic. That would be the missing piece that we haven't discussed yet in both of the other products. doTERRA's probiotic is called PB Restore, and this is such a cool product. It is like a 4-in-1 supplement, really. So this is going to address your microbiome in a big way because it's coming at it from 4 different angles. Your microbiome is really responsible for so many things in your body, mostly for your immune system. It's been said that about 80% of your immune function actually takes place in your microbiome. Also, that's where a lot of your serotonin is produced, which is what makes you feel good in your body. So I think this is one of those situations where there is still so much studying to have happen, because the gut is, we see clear links between supplementing with a probiotic and not only handling emotions and digestion better, but also skin health. You will see your skin start to have that glow. When you layer in the other 2 products we talked about and you've got your probiotics happening now, you're going to have noticeable changes in your skin, because what's happening inside is always reflected externally. So a real quick look at the 4 different things in this capsule. You have prebiotics, which are the food for the probiotics that help ensure the survival. Then, of course, you have your probiotics, so 24 active cultures that are in a time-released double layer capsule. So you'll actually, when you open up your PB Restore, you'll see the double capsules, and you'll see the prebiotics in there as well. Then you have postbiotics, and these create metabolites from what you eat. They help influence DNA and cell function, and bacteriophages. These are like the gardeners. They go in and just clean out any harmful bacteria and pathogens. So this is like a gardening system for your gut. And here's the comp chart on PB Restore. I think these are helpful to know, especially if you're new in doTERRA, just how doTERRA stacks, because you might have come into doTERRA for oils, most of you have, but doTERRA applies that same pursuit when it comes to supplements, right? So you're seeing just such clean levels. Okay, so let's talk about integration for a moment. So I mentioned that this is a really quick routine. It will take you no longer than 2 minutes. And what you'll do is in the morning, you'll just shake up your bottle. You might actually, let me go to the next slide for a second. There's actually probably two different ways people tend to integrate this. The most popular thing would be taking it first thing in the morning with or without breakfast. Some people have it in place of coffee and then they'll, you know, might have a continued fast going on until they're hungry for breakfast, or they might go off to the gym. I love using functional drinks to habit stack with things. So I okay, personally, I love to do this protein coffee in the morning. As soon as I've done the coffee, I know it's time to hit the gym. When I get home from the gym, I will have my VMG because it just feels so good going into my body after a workout. And that's typically when I'm breaking my fast and I'm having eggs, maybe a slice of sourdough. I love it really cold, icy cold with eggs. That to me is like heaven. It just tastes so good together. But the other time you might do this is in the afternoon when you're craving something refreshing. Maybe that might be when you would typically reach for a coffee or sparkling water or a glass of wine or something because you're just looking to like switch off the day. That would be a good time to take it. Uh, quick question. Spark said, how do you have a protein coffee without breaking your fast? So I wasn't necessarily meaning I'm fasting for blood glucose reasons. I'm just fasting from like whole foods. I'm giving my digestive system a break. I think, yeah, sometimes I have to remember when I say the word fasting, it means many different things to many people, right? So it's not a hard line fast that I'm doing. Now, I want to bring in another integration, if it's okay with you, because I'm a big proponent of this. I want you to think about what your day would feel like if you had the perfect morning and evening bookend. Okay, see, we've got this daily morning supplement routine, which feeds your body all day. What if you could have a routine to help you sleep deeper and just create these really beautiful bookends in your day so that no matter what happens throughout your day can, various things can go on and it might not go to plan, but you have this morning and evening routine. I wanted to just mention one of my other little kits that I love using to signal to my body that it's time for bed. So this is just a quick add-on I wanted to mention. I know that sleep is one of those things that so many people are striving to have better sleep, and it really does affect like the whole body. If you have a poor night's sleep, it's going to affect everything you do the next day, the decisions you make around food, how you feel in your body, your energy, of course, headaches, all those things, hormones. I mean, I'm 45 years old. A lot of women my age have already started going through menopause or are starting to go through it. And sleep is one of those things. It's a lever I'm pulling hard. Like I'm going to get it locked in because I don't want to experience really harsh symptoms as I navigate that season of life. And I know that this is one of the best keys I can use here. So I'm very passionate about this little sleep kit. And I wanted to just mention it in this class because we're talking about routines. This Serenity Sleep Kit is three products. It's an oil blend that you diffuse. It makes your bedroom smell like an absolute sanctuary. And then the soft gels, you would take 30 minutes before bed. The main thing in the soft gels, there's a couple of things. Of course, there are the essential oils, but L-theanine and tart cherry. So here's what I love about doTERRA supplements. They never force your body into accepting. It's never a situation where your body's getting bombarded with an ingredient. doTERRA focuses on how you can help the body heal naturally or uptick naturally. So L-theanine and tart cherry, for example, in this product help the body produce melatonin as opposed to giving the body melatonin to sleep. And then the other product is just a fun stick that you can massage in. So this could be a whole class, I guess, but I did want to mention it to you because sleep is one of those core concerns that people have. And if you're new to doTERRA, there are solutions. Okay, so I want to transition into essential oils, and here's how I want to segue. The brilliance of the Foundational Wellness Bundle is that when you order it monthly, and for my Canadians in the room, I wanted to just give you a shout out because what I just went through, VMG specifically, is not available in Canada yet. It's coming in 2026. But if you don't want to wait until then, you can order it from the US warehouse and you won't pay any customs duties or taxes. But what I'm about to go through with you are um, some essential oil education and how doTERRA is going to give you 12 essential oils throughout the year. You're going to get one every single month when you order your foundational wellness supplements each month. And that's it. I have friends who will message me like, so I want to start this, but do I just have to order the supplements and I get the oil, or is there a catch? Or I'm like, no, it's just the supplements if that's all you want. But then I'm also always like, but trust me, you should try the skincare and the toothpaste and the cleaning supplies, all that stuff, right? So in Canada, if you do the Lifelong Vitality Pack with the PB Assist, which is the probiotic in Canada, that's going to unlock for you the free 12 oils throughout the year. So as I'm going through the next portion, just remember that you just click subscribe on your doTERRA order and that sets you up for it. And you can actually do that in your first month, but I'll go through that at the end for those of you that don't have an account yet. Okay, so let's go into a little oil class for the second half of our time together here. I want to hear specifically from those of you that have used essential oils already. Has there been a cool experience you've had that you'd like to share? Not, you don't have to come off and mute yourself or anything. I won't do that to you. But if you want to just share in the chat, what was the oil you used and what was the cool result that you had? There's always going to be one or two experiences that someone has in their first year with the oils that blows their mind and shows them, wow, I wonder what else I could solve with the oils because I didn't think it would work this well on this particular thing. I mean, when my girls were little, they're now 14 and 16. When they were little, when I started doTERRA, I was knocking things out constantly as a new mother. And that was the greatest feeling in the world. Like when I could get rid of an ear infection, which I'm going to share a protocol with you today, I couldn't believe it. And actually, that was life changing for a lot of people in the US specifically who had to go into the emerge every time their child would have an ear infection. That costs a lot of money, right? In Canada, where we had socialized healthcare, you'll wait a long time, but it's free. And well, it's not free, you pay with your high taxes. But anyway, that's not what today's class is about. And so tea tree, when I used that when my kids were young to get rid of an ear infection, I couldn't believe how quickly it worked. Knocking out digestive issues with my little girls using Digest then. Or if I felt a cold coming on and I used On Guard to gurgle, it would work so quickly that it made me want to keep learning more and using them. Gwen said lavender and sleep. Susan said a friend used bergamot and peppermint for mild depression after quitting smoking and it turned around in days. Wow, that is great. Breathe for sinus issues and peppermint. Geranium across the bridge of my nose totally took care of mine and my sister's frequent nosebleeds. Now that is a new one. I have not heard that in all my years in doTERRA. That is so cool. Helichrysum I've used to stop a nosebleed, but geranium, that's good to know. Barbara said lavender. When I was baking and my arm touched the hot element, I immediately dropped on lavender. Discomfort disappeared immediately, no blister. And the next day I could hardly tell I'd burned my skin. That's cool. That's a really common one is lavender for burns, even sunburns, you guys, or if you burn, maybe you're curling your hair and you touch your forehead, put a drop of lavender on and it'll be quelched right away. That's great. Andrea said, I've been using them for over 10 years. Awesome. And I've had a ton of experiences. Recently, it felt like I was developing a cold sore on my lip. I used a blend of lavender, peppermint, tea tree, and geranium, and it cleared out before erupting. Okay, want to mention something on this. Andrea, that is super cool. Andrea grabbed a handful of oils and threw it at this cold sore, right? So that's what's so cool about oils. They all have different constituents, and it's better to use any oil than none at all, honestly, because it's going to provide some healing. There are some oils that are better than others for certain things. I'll just hop on the, sorry, one second, I lost the comment. I'll just hop on the cold sore train for a second. So she used lavender, peppermint, tea tree, and geranium. And I'm sure it was mostly the tea tree in there because tea tree is an antiseptic first aid oil, which we're going to talk about today more. But Melissa oil is one of the rock stars for cold sores, actually, because of the constituents in it. And that was what made my husband, Chris, be like, wow, these are legit, because he had cold sores his whole life. I've actually never had one. But he would describe them as like, they are the worst thing that looks like hardly anything, right? Like it's so painful, but it doesn't look like it's painful at all. And so he would drop Melissa on there. And here's what's interesting. He hasn't had one in like 8 years. He used to get them twice a year, usually at the change of the season. Frankincense for knee and back pain, Janelle said. Consuela said lavender, and I feel more relaxed and sleep better. And the Zengest, I don't feel bloated after eating. Zengest is what Digest Zen is called in Canada. Wow, you guys, so many great comments. Schieffer said helichrysum is great for stopping bleeding and lavender for burns. Pat said lavender and on guard with copaiba on a leg wound and it healed beautifully. This is so great, you guys. I appreciate you sharing. We could probably go on and on, right? A whole class about user experiences. But the important thing to know here is that there is an essential oil solution for whatever is coming up for you right now, in most cases. So, okay, here's what sets doTERRA apart. And I want to go through these a little bit quicker. If you think about maple syrup, like Miss Butterworth, right? If you go to the grocery store, it tastes like maple syrup. When you turn it around, you look at the ingredients, you see it has absolutely no maple syrup in it. That is probably the best way to understand what's going on in the essential oil industry today. When you go to Costco or the drugstore or even the health food store, you'll see frankincense for sale for $5, right? And you're probably like, huh, I know that that is one of the most expensive oils. How are they selling it for $5? Well, the reason is because it's not frankincense. It's something that they were able to create in a lab, make it smell like frankincense. I always think of Jelly Belly when I'm talking about this. How how do they make a jelly bean taste so much like popcorn? Right? The reason is they can use so many different chemicals to create that experience that you're having with your senses. And that's what's going on with a lot of essential oils. And the buck stops there. It does nothing medicinally for you. A bottle of peppermint, quote unquote, will probably smell somewhat like peppermint. But if it doesn't have peppermint in it, it's not going to relieve your headache, right? Because there's wisdom within nature. And that's what doTERRA really bottles and protects. So doTERRA is the most tested and the most trusted essential oil company in the world, which is why they are now the largest essential oil company in the world that has been built through trust over the last 17 years. There's, if you want to really dive in, there's a website called source2u.com where you can actually take a bottle of single origin like tea tree, and you can scan the code on the bottom and it'll show you exactly where it was grown. It will show you the constituents in the last GCMS testing. So if you really want to get into it, you can start to understand on a chemistry level why our oils work so well. The oils are powerful. In most applications, you're only going to use one drop because they are about 50 times stronger than the herb form, right? So you want to be very gentle with them, especially if you're just starting out. The other component beyond the quality testing that makes doTERRA unique is how they're sourced. So doTERRA sources in almost 50 different countries all around the world. And this is important because where a plant grows naturally and wild is where it's going to have the richest constituents. The peppermint or lavender that you grow in your backyard is going to have a very different medicinal profile than the lavender grown in Bulgaria, for example, where doTERRA sources. So it's important that you make that connection. Most companies, if I back up to this slide, these companies that are bottling essential oils, this is like your way below quality level, right? These are just things that smell like the things. But then you'll get into the next grade, which are companies that are actually producing essential oils. They are actually essential oils, but they are sourced from the country where that plant grows naturally, right? So what's happening there is you have a different constituent profile, therefore they're not working as well. So when you have a blend like On Guard, most of you have heard of this blend. It's doTERRA's most popular blend because it's the immune blend. And everybody deals with issues resulting from a weakened immune system at some point throughout the year. And so On Guard is one of those blends you'd want to have in your home. It is one of the 12 oils you'll get free as well, by the way. But it's one of those blends for a lot of people where you're like, oh, I get it. And if it didn't have the pure essential oils in it, it wouldn't be able to do what it does to have those antiviral, antimicrobial, antibacterial properties to really help support your immune system and kicking into gear when you're starting to feel run down. So there are 3 ways to use essential oils. Real quick review here. The most popular way is going to be aromatic. So whether you're adding a drop of oil to your hand, rubbing your hands together and just breathing in, or adding it to a diffuser. That's a really popular way. This is going to help create the type of environment you're wanting to be in, helps to cleanse the air. It's a mood modulator. So this is typically why you're going to use aromatic use, unless you're looking to have a medicinal results such as clearing the airways, right? So if you take a drop of eucalyptus or peppermint or breathe in your hand and just rub together when you have a stuffy nose, that can already go to work to help open up the airways. So aromatic is probably the most popular way people use oils. Then we go into topical, and you'll use topical when you're wanting to address the localized situation. So let's say, so someone mentioned they use lavender on a burn. I think it was Barb. And the reason that works so well, as opposed to just breathing in lavender, is because it needed to go right to the local site and address what's going on right there. When you're applying oils topically, you want to make sure you're diluting. So a good ratio is 3 to 1, which typically you're putting a drop in your hand and a little, maybe like half a teaspoon or a teaspoon of fractionated coconut oil. That's a really nice, easy carrier oil. doTERRA sells it, or you can buy it in a lot of places, Amazon. So diluting is going to not only make it safer, so you don't become sensitized, but it's also going to allow the oil to last longer. It won't flash off the skin so fast. The third way we use just doTERRA specifically is internal use. And again, the reason you can do this is because you're using pure essential oils. It's purely the plant distilled into an essential oil. There's no other fillers or other things in there. But again, you're using only 1 drop, right? So you might be adding a citrus oil, depending on the size. So in a big Stanley, for example, I'll add 2 drops of a citrus oil and fill it up with filtered water. You can take a veggie cap if you're trying to address something internally, but you don't want to actually taste the oils. You can make your own pill. And then, internal use of oils, of course, is happening with some of our supplements. So VMG, like we went through, one of the reasons that it actually absorbs so well is because of the essential oils in there. So those are the 3 ways to use. Now, something I've been threading through the class is when you order your foundational wellness supplements, you're receiving a free essential oil each month. And I absolutely love this so much. I've been sharing and teaching doTERRA for over 10 years, like I said. And when this started this year, I was so excited because to me, this unlocks a whole picture for people that you don't have to solve everything right away, right? Get your supplement game happening. And over the course of a year, you're going to receive a free top medicinal essential oil to build your cabinet for free. And you can have a whole month playing with that oil and learning how to integrate it. We're going to talk about tea tree in just a moment, which is the free oil this month. But this is what your year of free oils looks like month by month. So next month is a big one. Next month is On Guard. So I love the timing of that with back to school and just in many places, the fall winter season coming in. So you can see how throughout the year, the oils just make sense at the times that they're at. And so I wanted to spend a few minutes. I wanted to go over the uses for tea tree. Some of you might have gotten your bottle in already this month if you ordered at the start of the month. But one other thing I'll mention, if you aren't using the supplements right now, and let's say you just want to keep ordering a variety of products from doTERRA each month, you will receive this oil as well if your order is at least 125 PV by the 15th of the month. So if you're ordering within the first 2 weeks of every month and you're doing your own mix wellness box, you're going to receive the free oil as well. I just wanted to mention that to you. So tea tree, you guys, is a top antiseptic oil. So you're going to reach for it when you want to get rid of lice or prevent lice. You're going to add it to your face lotion or face serum if you've got some acne going on. You'll make a spray of it, a little spray bottle of distilled water with some tea tree to spray on your feet if you've got some fungal things going on. You'll add it directly to a wart, and you'll see the wart go away within a couple of weeks. And probably the most common one is this, ear infections. This is such a staple every mom needs in her home because when kids are in their first years of life, it is so common to be in and out for ear infections. And unfortunately, what happens is for an ear infection, they're going to be put on antibiotics and then it strips their gut right? And they're just in this constant depletion cycle. And so it is such an opportunity to use something natural to try to protect their gut integrity. Here is the protocol that myself and like thousands of people have used that really does work. And it's very, very simple. All you do is you add 1 to 2 drops of your tea tree onto a little cotton ball and you use it to swipe around the ear. You're never putting oils inside a canal, not in the nose, not in the, well, in the mouth, you could take them internally, right? But in the ear, especially, you don't want to do that because it's going to cause you to feel dizzy. So swiping it around the ear. And then what I suggest you do is you take some medical tape and you just tape the cotton ball across the opening of the ear and leave it there for about an hour. Do that morning and night when the early signs of an ear infection are present, and it won't go any farther. This is just so practical. I wanted to make sure you knew how easy it was. I would also suggest doTERRA has a really delicious tasting PB Assist stick, which is a stick form. They're micro beads. They taste really good. Kids love them. This is the probiotic form that a lot of kids will take that doTERRA has. So I would be taking that at the same time just to populate good bacteria. Just a quick question I wanted to answer. Pam said, if your little one has been given antibiotics because you did not know of tea tree, what would you suggest to help repair the gut? It's a great question. Simple probiotics and probiotic rich foods. If they're eating foods, mixing in yogurt, sauerkraut, kombucha, even maybe you do a little bit of kombucha and with a little bit of juice and some water, anything to help repopulate the gut. But a probiotic like this that I just talked about is a really great way to help repair, and it doesn't take long. Usually you need a good month-long cycle. Okay, I wanted to share a few other of my favorite DIYs with you guys. Get ready to take screenshots, okay? So these are fun, really fun. And these are very just nice, easy ways to use your tea tree oil when your bottle comes in. So the first thing I want to share with you is how you make your own clearing, foaming face wash. So if you have teenagers, for example, that are going through seasons of acne, what you see on the screen here would be 2 really great DIYs to try. So making your own foaming face wash is super easy. It's just a base of Castile soap and then adding in castor oil and some fractionated coconut oil. You can see the proportions there. And then about 15 drops of tea tree. You top it up with distilled water. Anytime you're making DIYs, you guys that call for water, it's really important you use distilled. So if you don't have your own water distiller at home, you can go and buy the big jugs. But that way you're not going to have any bacterial issues. And then the other recipe I wanted to share for some of my next level DIYers is a skin clearing oil. So you can get a nice, 30 ml pump. I like to use these glass ones I buy off Amazon. And you're basically going to mix it halfway with castor oil, the other half with aloe vera gel. You're going to add in your tea tree. If all you have is tea tree, that's great. If you do have lavender, frankincense, or copaiba, I would mix that in as well. And then an optional thing to take it to yet another level would be to add just half a teaspoon of something called white willow bark powder. You can find that on Amazon. And this is a great skin clearing oil. I have it, I whipped up a bottle for both of my girls. And tea tree is really the rock star within this, but it's just a way to integrate it by this other layering of other ingredients. And then on the photo there, I do give you some other tips for internal and topical approaches for acne. Next slide, a foot bath soaking salt. So I mentioned doing like a spray for foot fungus. This is really good to do. Get some water. This is good to do once a week, especially for athletes, just to soak in some Epsom salts with tea tree and then massage some tea tree into their feet afterwards. Very quick, very helpful. And then the other recipe I wanted to post here was really fun DIY deodorant that you just make in a roller bottle. This one has milk of magnesia in it, which you might be surprised to find that in here for this use, but it's actually, it really helps to stabilize the pH of your armpit so you're not smelling. And then adding the fractionated coconut oil, tea tree, geranium, and cedar wood is a combination I really like, but give this a try. This is a fun way to use empty roller bottles as well. So I wanted to share that one with you. Get a quick screenshot before I move on. I'm going to close out the class right now. I just wanted to I wanted to just go through ordering with you guys and the value within this program as we wrap up. If you have questions, post them in the chat and I'll come off screen share and we'll hang out for a few minutes at the end. Definitely text the person who invited you to class because they're going to have a unique link that gives you 25% off all the products. If you just hop onto doTERRA.com and order today, you're going to be paying full price. So make sure you're doing it through somebody. Whoever invited you, they'll have a code link for you. I want to go through just a few of the perk levels. When you order the foundational wellness bundle for the first time, and this is for all of you, whether you are a brand new customer, haven't enrolled yet as a customer, or you've been a customer for 10 years. When you order this for the first time, you're going to receive this wellness bundle for free. And this is from the US warehouse, guys. You're going to get a Wellness Made Simple box with a VMG shaker bottle, a glass shaker bottle, and a little bottle of peppermint. The idea there is that you put the peppermint on your temples, back of your neck in the morning when you're making your little supplement routine up. It's such a beautiful experience. That 2-minute quick daily integration, the peppermint just takes it next level. So they gave you that for free, just as a little feel good. If you are brand new, you haven't purchased yet, and you came to this class because you're getting ready to, for your very first doTERRA order, if your cart is at least 150 PV, you're going to receive a free welcome gift. You can see the options on the screen. You could do a diffuser or a couple of toothpaste or the foaming hand wash, the glass dispenser. What I suggest, I talked about the Serenity Sleep Kit earlier. If you add that to your cart with the foundational wellness supplements for your first order, that hits that minimum and then it unlocks the welcome gift. And this is only available to you on your very first order. So I wanted to make sure you knew about that. But for everybody, when you order your supplements for the first time, right, you get that glass shaker bottle, and Canadians, that applies to you too when you order from the US warehouse. Okay. When you click the subscribe button on your supplements, when you're placing, let's say you're going to hop on today after class, you're going to place your first order of the foundational wellness bundle, click the subscribe button, and that's going to add tea tree to your cart for free. It's also going to just establish your monthly order going forward. You'll get that free oil every month. So you'll get On Guard for free next month, for example. Now you can go in next month and take the supplements off if you want and do a different order. Maybe, you're in total control of your monthly orders, but you don't have to get the same thing every month. It's just the supplements are a nice, easy thing to have in your cart each month because it unlocks all these other perks, right? You'll also get a welcome package from doTERRA of samples of our top products on your very first subscription order. And as you go throughout the year, you're earning points off of your orders. So you start at 10% back, and by the end of the year, you've locked in 30% back. So what that means is for every, let's say 100 PV orders, to make it easy, you're getting 30 PV back in points that you can cash in on future orders. So I've been ordering this way the whole time in doTERRA. I added it up recently for somebody. I have received over $9,000 in free products over the last 10 years just by ordering monthly. And really, like, we're growing our health in so many other ways. It's just such a beautiful situation. But the thing that I love specifically about what we've learned today is just the supplements unlock all those perks for you if that's all you wanted to order each month. The last slide I wanted to put up here, take a screenshot of this. I'm a spreadsheet nerd, I'll admit it, and I took time to calculate what the financial return on investment is when you're just ordering the supplements each month and what happens throughout the year as you do that. And basically, I have Canadians broken down here as well, whether you're ordering from the US warehouse or Canadian warehouse, but I'll just talk about Americans before we end the class. So for an American ordering just the foundational wellness from the US warehouse, you're getting a 34% return in your first year, 34% back in value. In your second year, you're getting 43% back. That is huge. And you've locked that in for life if you're staying on the monthly ordering. And by the way, you can click a button and cancel anytime. Like it's totally up to you. It's just a very high value program to be ordering through. So look at you all hanging out till the end. I want to just pull up the chat here, see if there were any questions. I hope um, I hope you guys clearly understood the value within this because I love it so much. I think it demystifies wellness going forward. For a lot of people, this is going to make a huge difference in your health. And it's just such a simple integration. I think of all the things I shared, what I do love most about it is that like one and done in the morning, and I'm good to go for the day. And that just feels so good to me to not be constantly having to think of things. Um, and as you get going in doTERRA, you will integrate more and more as you continue to grow. So, maybe you just want to start by focusing on those bookends, morning and night, just having a little routine, using your oils and just letting whatever happens throughout the day happen. And over time, you just continue to optimize. And as you are using your essential oils, if you don't buy any oils this year and you just stick to the free ones that you receive, you're going to still be able to solve like 80% of the things that come up. Like it's a beautiful way to build that kit. Oh, thank you, Barb. Well, so great to have you guys on. We don't typically send the recording out, but if you do want the recording, just message the person that invited you. We do share it like as people ask. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate you caring about wellness like you do. And was anybody, just by show of hands, was anybody not yet in doTERRA? Think most of you here had a lot of essential oil education behind you. So that was really great. Awesome. So good to have you on. Join us next week on Monday for Growth Made Simple if that interests you. And then, of course, we have the 8 p.m. class tonight if you want to invite anybody to attend that one. Awesome. Okay. Bye for now, you guys. We'll see you again soon.